Maybe you love chocolate and I hate it, or I love it and you hate it. Either way, what makes us so different? When the two of us peel the wrapper off a chocolate bar and slide it in our mouths, do different thoughts run through our minds? Indeed, do our minds behave in completely different ways? Here's an amazing little fact for you. Every 10 years or so, a typical adult eats their own body weight in chocolate. That's absolutely true. With typical chalk consumption ranging from about 4.4 kilograms a year in the United States to 8.8 kilograms a year, in Switzerland, it takes, on average, only a decade to eat a person's worth of the delicious dark brown. And in 2016, India consumed an estimated 228,000 tons of chocolate confectionery, up 50% from the 152,000 tons consumed in 2011, according to market research firm Mintel. But just what is it that makes us eat so much chocolate? Why is it delicious to the point of being addictive? Scientists have come up with various theories. Chocolate is a food derived from the beans of the tropical cacao tree, THEOBROMINE cacao. Much of it is grown in Western Africa where high temperatures and rainfall provide perfect growing conditions. The chocolate you eat is produced from cacao beans in a multi-stage process. After harvesting, the beans are allowed to ferment, then dried, cleaned, and ground to produce a paste. This is then pressurized to form two ingredients known as chocolate liquor and cocoa butter. Different types of what we call chocolate are made by blending the liquor and the butter in varying proportions. But the question is, why do people like chocolates so much? According to a 2007 study by psychologist David Lewis, letting chocolate dissolve slowly in your mouth produces as big an increase in brain activity and heart rate as a passionate kiss, but the effects of the chocolate last 4 times longer. Actually, scientists have been trying to understand the chemistry of chocolate for years. Although there are several hundred different chemicals in your typical slab, a handful of them seem to be more important than others in making chocolate taste so good. Among the most important are stimulants including theobromine, phenethylamine, and caffeine in very small amounts. Back in 1996, researchers at the Neurosciences Institute in San Diego, California published a letter to Nature suggesting that chocolate also contains a feel-good chemical called anandamide, which is found naturally in the brain and is similar to another one called anandamide THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, found in marijuana. Normally anandamide is broken down quite quickly after it is produced, but the San Diego chemists speculated that the anandamide in chocolate makes the natural anandamide in our brain persist for longer, in other words, giving us a longer-lasting chocolate high. So while chocolate does not contain the same active chemicals as marijuana, there is some similarity in the effect that both substances have on our brains. Other scientists have used brain scanners to study how brain activity changes when we eat chocolate. Scanners like this are based on the neuropsychological idea that different parts of our brains have sometimes quite specialized functions, even to the extent that some bits work almost like discrete modules. Oxford University psychologists Edmund Rolls and Sierra McCabe tried this in 2007 in an attempt to understand whether people who crave chocolate show a different brain response to those who don't. They found significant differences between chocoholics and non-chocoholics in 3 key areas of the brain known as the orbitofrontal cortex, the ventral striatum, and the pregenual cingulate cortex. Interestingly, Rolls and McCabe found differences using either picture of chocolate or chocolate placed in a subject's mouth, so even looking at chocolate is enough to set off your craving. Not that chocoholics need scientists to tell them that, but it's something worth remembering. If you're dieting and trying to cut out the chalk, avoiding the sight of the forbidden food may be just as important as avoiding the nibbling of it.